Last month, Sasso won the NCAA Men's Individual Championship. He just completed his junior season at Ole Miss and was the second Rebel, in fact, to win an individual national title. Braden Thornberry was the other. Sasso is currently the third-ranked amateur in the world. And we're delighted to tell you that Michael is joining us right now from Illinois. Michael, you win the NCAA Individual Championship in May. Then you go play at the Arnold Palmer Cup, and then you compete at the U.S. Open, amongst others. What's the last month or so been like in your life?
Very busy. It's always a good problem to have. Kind of just talking with family and the people around me. The last month and a half has been a whirlwind, but it's been exciting, very fun. I've played with people that I've looked up playing golf when I was younger, so kind of been able to do that. It makes my younger self kind of scream on the inside, having the ability to come play with all these guys out here.
Now, in winning the NCAA Individual Championship, you joined the likes of Jack Nicklaus and Hale Irwin and Ben Crenshaw and Tiger Woods, amongst others, to have achieved the same. What's it like for you to think about, whether it's that younger self you were just referencing or otherwise, what's it like to be a part of that company?
Yeah, you're giving me goosebumps just even saying that. It's the coolest thing in the world. I just having the ability to go out there and compete with a good group of guys at Ole Miss and, was able to win that. I still really honestly hasn't fully set in yet, just with how busy I've been and kind of just been bouncing around. But I'm sure when I go back to school in the fall and kind of take a few deep breaths that it'll really start to sink in.
Okay, what were your impressions of Oakmont for the U.S. Open?
Yeah, it was great. It was kind of funny. I was sitting there in the player dining and kind of just had Scotty Scheffler walk in, Rory McIlroy. So just kind of being able to see those players in the flesh, it's kind of the first time I've been exposed to that and playing in a field with all the big names. So just kind of been able to be out there. It was unbelievable. The golf course was very, very special to me. I was kind of born up north, so to be able to play at Oakmont, it was just the coolest experience ever. I played practice rounds with a bunch of huge guys. I actually played with Mark Hubbard during the event, saw him at the Rocket Classic last week, and he played well. So just being around all these different people, it's very special.
Yeah, so having had the chance to be around those people and have your game compared side by side, where do you feel like your strengths and weaknesses are in your game compared to what you've seen?
Yeah, it's always, I was talking with my coach, Coach Malloy, actually, about this earlier on the phone. But these guys are very, very good at what they do. But at the end of the day, they're not superheroes. I still see errant shots here and there. So kind of knowing that I'm out here and able to compete with them, and if I do everything that I can do in my power to play golf to the best of my ability, I think I fit out here perfectly with them. So,
all right, when you see what Ludvig or Berg or Luke Clanton were able to do, rising rapidly from the college ranks to the professional ranks, does that give you a mark? Does that give you a path to aim for in your career, too, when it comes time?
For sure. It's very inspiring. Being able to follow in their footsteps a little bit. I played a bunch of golf with Luke Clanton at the end of the year there, and kind of being able to know that he is very much a top 100 player in the world professionally, and kind of playing against him and competing against him. So kind of knowing that there are players around us that have already kind of blitzed it, and being around them and seeing what they can do, it's inspiring. It kind of lights a fire under me to kind of go out and, improve on what I can, to kind of just try and follow in their footsteps and do the best I can do.
Michael, there's a clear joy that emanates from you. You have your own type of vibe. So this might seem like a weird question, but when I was hosting Golf Central the week of the NCAA Championships, I started calling you Michael the Quads. So I'm curious, did you see any of the social media reaction from the shorts that you were wearing during the NCAAs?
A little bit. I've kind of had my swing instructor has posted a lot of videos, so I have gotten some comments on them before. It's not something that I'll really shy away from. at all. It's kind of like a personal thing that, it's comfortable doing. But I think it's hilarious. I always kind of laugh at night just seeing that. And that's something that's a good way to disconnect from the golf course a little bit, kind of just laughing at what people have to say. And if that's the topic about me, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, it's cool that you have that ability to disconnect and have fun with it. Now, with your win at La Costa, you'll likely earn an invitation to the Masters. What comes to your mind when you start thinking about playing at Augusta?
Yeah, we were lucky enough 2 years ago now we had a member at Ole Miss and got us out there to play. And we still always talk about that week at school. So having the ability to go out there with no fans and just see how green that place really is and truly how special that place is, it's very exciting if I get to play in the Masters and see it with the crowd of people and just in a different environment. I think, that'll be the coolest thing ever.
You mentioned earlier about heading back to school. Your senior year is coming up. And, of course, the Walker Cup is at an iconic venue. What's the next few months going to be like for you? I'm not comparing it necessarily to the whirlwind you've been on, but what are the next few months going to be like?
Yeah, I've been talking just with people around me. I have a very special few weeks of golf coming up, which I'm very fortunate to be a part of. But playing a Walker Cup, especially the 50th one at Cypress Point, along with some of my best friends in amateur golf. I mean, I've had that event circled on my calendar for honestly the last 2 years. So being able to be picked for that and being able to go play that at the end of summer is really kind of like what I've been looking forward to the most. Kind of having the whirlwind of playing in the U.S. Open and then hopefully getting an invite into the Masters. It's kind of just like, it's honestly sounds silly me even saying it, but just to be able to go out to the venues that they're at and be a part of this experience to be a part of history is really the coolest thing.
Well, my congratulations with what you have accomplished. Best of luck moving forward because you've got a busy schedule still yet and, of course, in your senior year. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much.